Neither the actors nor the fans, and certainly not Ty, anticipated this. When rumors began to circulate that Chantel had been concealing a significant secret, one that could instantly ruin relationships, friendships, and reputations, what had begun as a peaceful Basketball Wives LA shooting day descended into complete mayhem. Fans had been seeing Chantel's odd behavior for weeks. The apprehensive grins, the frequent sideways glances whenever Ty's name was mentioned, and the abrupt pauses in group discussions. The truth then started to come to light during a stressful ladies' night out. After a cryptic remark and a verbal blunder, the atmosphere abruptly became chilly. Ty stopped. Evelyn put her hand over her lips. The rest of the group was left speechless as the shocking revelation was revealed. Chantel's secret was entirely related to Ty's boyfriend. The internet is now ablaze. Chantel's secret is threatening to tear the group apart from the inside out. Fans are demanding answers, and alliances are changing. Was it miscommunication, treachery, or something more serious? There is no certainty, but one thing is for sure. The truth can't be suppressed for very long before exploding in the public eye. Here's where it all starts. Before midday, there was a bit too much champagne, glamour, and gossip, just like any other day in the Basketball Wives LA circle. However, when rumors of Chantel's pregnancy started to circulate, no one, not even the most devoted viewers of the show, could have foreseen how quickly things would go out of control. Not just any pregnancy, however, since there were allegations that the father was Ty's boyfriend. While shooting at a private brunch in Beverly Hills, the first indications of danger appeared. Producers hinted that the females were getting together for a bonding episode, but what really happened was anarchy. Never one to hold back, Evelyn was the first to reveal the truth. She leaned back with her signature smile and added, I'm not trying to start anything, but rumors have it that Chantel has been hanging out with Ty's boyfriend late recently. There was silence at the table. The sound of a mimosa glass clinking on the table was audible. Ty's grin stopped. Her eyes narrowed as she slowly turned her head to face Chantel. What on earth is she discussing? She posed the question in a cool, collected tone that foreshadows a storm. Clearly agitated, Chantel attempted to dismiss it with a joke. Please, girl. People always have something to say, you know? Evelyn wasn't about to back down, however. Ain't nobody checking for your man? So why were you seen at 2 a.m. leaving the same studio? Do you believe that these blogs are only made up for amusement? Ty's mouth clenched. Studio? She said it again. Music isn't even recorded by my man. There were gasps throughout the room. Off camera, producers murmured to one another. This was personal. It went beyond small-time rumors. Pushing her chair back, Ty got to her feet. Chantel, you had better speak up before I start to believe everything she said. Reaching for her cup, Chantel stammered. Look, that's not how it is. We were simply, what exactly? Ty abruptly interrupted her. You have been behaving strangely for weeks, avoiding my calls and skipping events. Don't you dare call them friends, I now see why. The strain was intolerable. Partly astonished, partly amused, Evelyn leaned in. As she sipped her mimosa, she said, Y'all, this is getting messy real quick. Then the manufacturing stopped. Chantel's shaking hands were captured on camera. She was panting and struggling to find the right words when she finally said something that would rock the BBWLA brand as a whole. It was an error, Ty. I didn't intend for it to occur. I was completely unaware until... Ty slapped the table with her palm. How long? Chantel's eyes filled with tears. Every microphone picked up her whisper, which was so weak it was almost unintelligible. Until I discovered I was expecting a child. The room blew up. The crew let out a gasp, Evelyn's mouth fell open, and Ty, stunned, stepped back. Her voice broke as she continued. You're lying. Are you telling me that you are expecting my man's child? Chantel buried her face in her hands and sobbed quietly. She didn't respond. And no confession could overpower that quiet. The ensuing mayhem was legendary. Throwing her napkin across the table, Ty said, You dead to me, Chantel, and rushed out. Never again will you gaze at me. Ty couldn't hear her, so Evelyn attempted to follow her. As photographers took pictures outside, she climbed into her vehicle and drove off, tears running down her cheeks. Chantel sat shattered within. She said, more to herself than to anybody else, I didn't plan this. He informed me that they were finished. Evelyn shook her head when he indicated he was no longer with her. You were aware, girl, that he was still living with her? Quit acting as if you didn't. Filming was halted early that day by the producers, but the harm was already done. Within hours, hashtags including Chantel BBWLA baby drama and Ty stunned were trending on X, previously Twitter, indicating that news had already leaked online. Fans flocked to the comment sections, with some criticizing Chantel for breaking girl code and others supporting Ty. However, the narrative was only beginning behind the scenes. Ty wasn't one to simply sit back and weep. Instead, she was planning. She wanted retribution as well as answers. What about Chantel? She wasn't prepared for what was about to happen. Because Ty had her own receipts even if she believed the truth was out. The notorious brunch left social media in ruins the morning after. One question was emblazoned on the feeds of every fan page, reality TV account, and gossip blog. Is Chantel indeed pregnant by Ty's man? Within hours, memes were going viral, and even celebrities who weren't affiliated with the BBWLA were commenting. Online, Ty had been utterly mute, which only served to increase conjecture. Fans were sent into a tailspin by her Instagram story's ominous message, "Betrayal always comes from those closest to you." She didn't make any posts, tweets, or stories. Thousands of replies in comment sections. "She's talking about Chantel. She must get away from him. Chantel is not violating the girl code." Chantel, meantime, was hiding away and avoiding producers' messages and cameras. She was aware of the maelstrom she was in, but she was surprised to learn that Ty had already arranged an urgent meeting with Evelyn and Jackie in order to get the whole truth. Ty looked calm, but her aura was frigid as the women met at a quiet cafe in downtown Los Angeles. Evelyn wasted no time in starting the conversation. "I told you, girl, that I didn't feel right about the circumstance. However, you don't deserve to learn that way." Ty inhaled deeply. "I'm not even angry with you, Evelyn. I'm upset with him. I'm upset with her." As if everything were okay, they both sat at my home, ate my meal, and grinned at me. Jackie shook her head while drinking her coffee. "This is no little error, baby. It would be a lifelong betrayal if she was really pregnant. You cannot return from it." Ty's voice broke. "You believe I'm unaware of that? Last week, he told me he loved me while looking me in the eye. She was standing right next to me, pretending innocent, while he was lying the whole time." Evelyn let out a sigh. "You are aware that the show will make this far more significant than it already is, aren't you? Producers are already phoning me and demanding a meeting." Ty's eyes became gloomy. "All right, because I want her to confront me and own up to it, on film." Meanwhile, Chantel's phone was constantly vibrating as she paced her apartment. She declined to make a comment despite her PR representatives' entreaties. She said, "Anything I say now will only make it worse." But she understood in her heart that quiet was a sign of guilt. In actuality, Chantel was expecting a child, but she wasn't even certain that Ty's partner was the father. Because of the hazy chronology, she was now ensnared in a web from which she was unable to break free. Once again, her phone rang. It was Mona, the show's producer. "We need you to record a confessional, Chanel. Fans are clamoring for your support." Chantel's voice wavered as she continued, "I'm not ready for that." "Well, my dear, you had best prepare yourself, because Ty has already consented to filming hers today. She's not holding back based on what I've heard." When Ty's confessions arrived at the studio a few hours later, she wasn't holding back. Her tone sliced as she said, "You think you know somebody until they prove you wrong." When Chantel was going through her split, I took her in. I offered her guidance, encouragement, and sisterhood. And she pays me back like this? Having sex with my partner? It's repulsive. Later, fans referred to the scenario as one of the most unvarnished ones ever captured on camera for BBWLA. "It's between her and God if she's pregnant," Ty said, sobbing uncontrollably. "However, one thing is certain. She will never again be a member of my social group." Chantel sat quietly at home and watched the confession as it was broadcast. Every statement struck her like a blow. She wanted to protect herself by screaming, but she was unable to do so. Because she had secretly gone too far. She was being consumed by guilt. One of the only people who hadn't yet turned against Chantel was her close friend Brandy, whom she met with later that night. "You have to fix this girl," Brandy replied forcefully. "Own up to your actions. Even if Ty despises you now, fleeing simply makes you seem worse." Chantel lost it. "Do you believe that I intended for this to occur? He informed me of their breakup. He claimed to be unmarried. I am now the antagonist." Brandy scowled. "You must cease taking these folks at their word. He performed for both of you. However, the distinction is that you bear the consequences." That was a powerful sentence. Chantel turned aside, her eyes welling with tears. Marcus, Ty's guy, was nowhere to be seen in the meanwhile. He had entirely vanished, leaving no messages, calls, or appearances. It simply seemed worse because of that stillness. While Chantel's circle gradually began to dwindle, Ty's network of friends was coming together to support her. However, the producers had more to stir up. Under the pretense of closure, they had one more surprise planned: a reunion dinner. Neither Ty nor Chantel were aware that the other would be there. Their mouths fell as they entered the same eatery. The silence fell. The cameras rolled. And the tension might have broken glass the instant their eyes locked. Ty was the first to break the stillness. "So what are we doing right now?" "Instead of giving me the truth, you're hiding behind producers." "I'm not hiding, Ty," Chantel murmured quietly, her voice trembling. "I only wanted an opportunity to clarify." Ty's arms were folded. "Can you explain how my boyfriend got you pregnant?" "Make it make sense, please." Once again, the room became silent. Everyone watched as Chantel inhaled deeply, preparing to say the one thing that might either rescue what little dignity she still had or ruin her entirely. But Marcus entered before she could say anything. Immediately, the cameras swiveled. Ty's mouth fell open. Chantel's gaze expanded. No one anticipated his appearance. At that point, the tale took a completely unexpected turn. Time seemed to stop as Marcus entered that eatery. Disbelief permeated the air, and everyone's focus was fixed on him as if the world had stopped turning. This guy was the focal point of it all. His silence alone had shattered trust, ripped friendships apart, and sparked a media frenzy. Ty's chair scraped the floor as she instantly got to her feet. "Oh, you want to reveal your face now?" Her voice was harsh enough to cut through the tension as she spit. Marcus held out his hands in protection. "Ty, I didn't come here for any drama. I come to correct the record." "Oh, it's about to get real," Evelyn muttered as she sat in the corner drinking like she was watching a live soap drama. Ty glared at him while crossing her arms. "Marcus, you had plenty of opportunity to set things straight. Now you appear after your side chicks are screaming about getting pregnant. My heart has been destroyed, and my name has been dragged around blogs." Tears clouded Chantel's eyes. "Please don't call me that, Ty. You're not understanding. I don't comprehend." Ty yelled. "Where am I missing the mark? That the guy I loved was having an affair with you? That each time we sat together you lied to my face? Chantel, you reminded me of my sister." "My sister?" Marcus interrupted Chantel before she could react, causing her lips to quiver. "Enough, you two. I can't let this continue any longer, even if this isn't how I intended you to know." The room became quiet. Everyone leaned in. Marcus wiped his face and said, "I made a mistake. I was seeing Chantel, yes. However, it wasn't what you all thought. Ty and I were already starting to drift apart. I never intended for things to go this bad." Ty gave a sour chuckle. "Never even attempt that. Marcus, you were in my bed last week. You wouldn't dare pretend that we were breaking apart." Marcus sighed, his face etched with shame. "You know that things haven't been right for a while, Ty. Every day we were fighting, and Chantel was simply there." "She paid attention, did she hear?" Ty repeated, raising her voice. "So that's your justification? Did she hear? You wasted years on someone who only listened?" At last, Chantel started crying. "Ty, that wasn't meant to occur. I promise." "He informed me that you had finished." Ty slapped the table with her palm. "You were fully aware that we weren't finished. Everyone in the room was aware. Now that you've been detected, stop being foolish." Ty refused to listen to the producer's attempts to soothe her. "Let the cameras roll, please. Let the world see the kind of snakes that individuals have encountered." "This right here?" Evelyn murmured as she bent over to Jackie. "Highlight of the season. They will discuss this for years to come." At last, Marcus turned to face Chantel. "You must be honest with her. Everything." Shaking, Chantel wiped her eyes. "Please, Marcus, Chantel, tell her," he insisted. Chantel inhaled deeply as everyone's hearts raced. "Marcus, I'm not even sure if you're the father." That is the reality. There was silence at the table. For a moment, even Ty stopped breathing. "What?" Ty muttered. Chantel gave a slow nod. "I wasn't sure when I found out I was pregnant. Prior to all of this, I was seeing someone else before Marcus. I intended to remain silent until I was certain, but things quickly got out of hand." Evelyn's mouth fell open. "Wait a minute. You don't even know the father's identity?" Chantel gave a head shake. "No, everyone is now suffering the price for my error." Sitting back, Ty gazed at her. She went from wrath to astonishment to sadness. You tarried my name, ruined our connection, and ended our relationship because of something you don't even know the truth about? Chantel sobbed more. Ty, I didn't intend to. I promise I didn't. I felt afraid. You mean to tell me you ain't even sure that baby's mine? Mumbled Marcus, who was now clearly furious. Chantel faced him. Don't pretend to be innocent, Marcus. You were well aware of what we were doing. Just as much as I wanted you, you wanted me. Don't blame me for everything. Disgusted, Ty glanced between the two. You two sicken me. Marcus, you were adored. And I had faith in you, Chantel. But both of you? Because you are both liars. You are a wonderful match. Ty raised her hand as Marcus attempted to speak again. Preserve it. Speak to your conscience about whatever has to be spoken. The strain was intolerable. In an attempt to defuse the situation, Jackie eventually spoke out. All right. Let's all take a moment to relax. We can't reverse the past, but perhaps we may get some understanding. However, the harm was already irreparable. Therefore, it was too late for clarification. Clips from the altercation were posted online the next day. The clip became viral in a matter of hours. Every line, rip, and shine was examined by fans. Some praised Ty's fortitude and protected her. Marcus? Others accused Chantel of clout chasing. People referred to him as the biggest liar in BBWLA history, making him the new villain on the internet. Producers were ecstatic behind the scenes since the ratings were so high. However, there were genuine feelings at stake for the ladies. For weeks, Ty refused to shoot after going totally off the radar once again. Chantel, on the other hand, struggled with anxiety and remorse. Like a rain cloud, the paternity issue hung over her. The next episode would have a pregnancy test scene, which was the cherry on top. In order to verify the father's identity, Chantel had consented to undergo a DNA test, and Ty had promised to be there when the findings were announced. The whole globe was anticipating the response. Would the father be Marcus? Or will this whole ordeal end up being one big miscommunication that cost everyone everything? When you play with fire, somebody's bound to get burned, Evelyn said in her confessional as the day's shooting came to an end. However, in this instance, the flames are out of control for everyone. Fans of Basketball Wives LA went into a full-blown frenzy in the days after that spectacular altercation. Marcus's name trended for all the wrong reasons, and social media was divided into our Team Ty and Sark Team Chantel, who were engaged in an online battle. Everyone wanted to know the truth. Could Ty ever forgive Chantel for the treachery that destroyed their sisterhood? And who was the father? Producers promoted the disclosure as if it were the most important TV event of the year when the DNA results were ultimately released. They weren't mistaken. It seemed like everyone on the internet was anticipating what would happen. Ty refused to even glance at Chantel, who sat trembling and with trembling hands. Through the screen, one could sense the tension in the room. The truth struck like lightning when the envelope was eventually opened. The father was not Marcus. Even the producers were in disbelief as the room erupted in gasps and tears. Ty simply sat there, mute, her face inscrutable as Chantel buried her face and sobbed. She was quiet for a few seconds before speaking, but her tone was one of pain. You ruined me for something that didn't exist at all. All of this suffering, all of this mayhem, for a lie. When Chantel attempted to apologize, Ty didn't accept it. Once the harm is done, you cannot apologize. You have the option to visit me. You had the option to be honest with me. Rather, you gave the impression that I was insane. This is history, Evelyn, who was seated close by, said to herself. History of reality television in its purest form. Marcus got up to go, clearly embarrassed. I apologize, Ty, he muttered. I know nothing I say will make this better. Ty didn't even give him a glance. You're correct. Nothing works. In an instant, she left without yelling, smashing anything, or crying. Just dignity and stillness. The kind that hurts more than any dispute could. Later, in her season-ending confessional, Ty encapsulated everything in a single, eerie sentence. Betrayal may sometimes educate you about yourself. I may have lost a guy and a friend, but I was at peace, and no one can take it away from me. In contrast, Chantel expressed remorse in her parting remarks. I erred, and it cost me everything. Someone I love was harmed by me. I'm not sure whether she will ever forgive me, but I'll continue to hope that she will. Her forgive me, but I'll continue to hope that she will. Fans flocked to the internet as the credits rolled, some feeling sorry for Ty and others feeling sorry for Chantel. The emotional impact of it all served as a reminder to viewers that there is a tale of love, suffering, and repercussions behind every headline. And that's where you, the audience, enter the picture. What are your thoughts? Is this bond irreparable, or should Ty ever forgive Chantel? Did everyone bear some of the guilt, or was Marcus the really bad guy? We would love to hear your opinions, so please leave a comment below. To ensure you don't miss any more twists in Hollywood's most outrageous tales, please press like if the truth stunned you, subscribe for more BBWLA drama breakdowns, and turn on alerts. The truth always comes out in the world of reality TV, and it's seldom what you anticipate. If this season has taught us anything,